Hello friends, welcome to my channel Iballdesigningdeveloper. Like previously we have done many of the things related to Next.js and React.js and I hope you all enjoy that. So today we will be doing a different thing related to Next.js because previously when we are working with Next.js we are building like clones and different things using Next.js and React.js, but now we will be building a Wikipedia search app using Next.js, and this video will be really helpful for you. So remember to see this video from start to end so you can learn one thing about this video. And if you are enjoying this video from start to end, learning things from this video, so please hit a like to this video. If you are new on the channel, hit the subscribe button, share this video with your friends and family members so they can also learn about these amazing things and skills which we are doing through React.js, and I hope you'll be enjoying this video also. So if you are enjoying learning things from this video, so hit a like, and if you are new on the channel, also subscribe to my channel to learn more different things, and also hit the notification bell from which you will be getting all the notifications of my video which I'll be uploading in future. So that will be help for you also and it will be help for me also. So do that things also, so it should be giving help to you in future. So now I'll be starting with our Wikipedia search app project in Next.js. So like I'm telling you, we will be just building a Next.js app using Next.js, and like I'm telling you, we will be building a Wikipedia search app using Next.js. So now we'll be starting to build this amazing app using Next.js, and I hope you'll be enjoying this video from start to end. So for building this app, we'll be opening our VS Code here. Like previously when we are working with Next.js or React.js, we were using VS Code text editor to work with that. So here simply I'll be opening my VS Code text editor. Now when you've opened your VS Code text editor, here you can see I've opened this. Now when you've opened, just you have to do one thing, you have to move here in this. Then when you have just moved here, you have to simply do one thing here else. Like I will be moving here, and now you have to create some of the things, or you can say some of the files which I want to create. So here you have to first of all create one folder in this. So here I'll be now creating a folder. So you have to move here, move to new, then you have to create a folder with the name of Wikipedia, because here now we are making in this Wikipedia, and in this Wikipedia folder I'll be saving all my files which I want to save. Now I'll be opening my VS Code text editor, go to file, press open folder here. Now when you have open folder, this just you have to go to this, just you have to go to desktop, because in desktop I have saved my folder of Wikipedia. I'll be moving to Wikipedia and pressing search folder. You can see now when you have opened your folder, this folder is totally empty and we are not containing any of the file in this folder. I'll be pressing this new file, creating new file in this folder. I'll be writing the name of this file, which should be this, and then I'll be making a new folder with the name of CSS, and then JS folder, means our JS folder. Now when you create this, here simply I'll be doing one thing, I'll be deleting this. So just you have to delete this folder. Now you have to just do one thing, simply here you have to create JS folder. Now go to this CSS folder. Here we have to create a CSS file which should be style.css. Move to JS folder, same as you have to move to CSS folder, move to JS folder. Here I'll be creating a file with the name of app.js. Now when you create these things, you have to just simply move to index.html, means our HTML file, and here we will be writing all the codes which we want to work. Now when you've done that, here simply I'll be opening in my file in my default browser, which is Opera browser. Here I'll be opening this file. Now when you've opened your file, just remember to do one thing here, like I'll be moving, then you can see now this file is totally empty, and you can see this file is not containing anything here. Now I'll be doing it side by side, so you can see all the codes here which I am doing at the side by side. Now you can see these all codes which I am doing at the right side, and here at the left side I'll be writing my code. So first of all I'll be writing the starting code. So I'll be writing HTML, then you have to move down here you have to create a head tag. Now you have to move down, create title. Here I'll be writing Wikipedia search app. You can write this, save this file here, and then you have to reload. You can see there it is written Wikipedia search app. Now when you've written this title, you have to simply do one thing, you have to link your style sheet. So here I'll be writing link, then I want to write my folder name, means my folder path here where I have saved my file. So here I'll be writing css/style.css, which is my which is the name of my style sheet. Now when you've written these things, you have to simply move down, you have to create a body tag here. Now just when you have created the body tag, here you have to create a header. Then in this header I'll be creating a class, and in this class I'll be writing header. Simply move down here, then you have to write h1. Here I'll be writing Wikipedia. You can write any title here related to your topic or out of your topic. I'll be writing Wikipedia search app, so it will be easy for you to remember. Search app, save here, reload. You can see now there it is written Wikipedia search app here at the top. You can see now it is looking good. We'll be setting this with the help of CSS when we'll be working this. So when you've done that, here you have to simply move down, then you have to create an article tag here, move down, then create form. then here delete this section and you have to write id, and id I will be writing same as form, so it will be easy for us to remember these things which we are writing. Now you have to create input, then when you've written this type you have to write class before this type, so here I'll be writing class. Now in this class I will be writing form dash input. Now here in type you have to write text, means just don't erase this, then you have to write placeholder, take this down here, so I'll be pressing enter to take this down, erase this. Then in this placeholder I'll be writing is equals to, and then here I will be writing search. Now when you've written these things I'll be giving gap and write 3 dots. Save this file here, and if you reload here you can see we are getting the search input. We'll be setting this search input after when we'll be moving to our CSS file, then we'll be setting these all things here. Now when you've done with these things, here I will be doing one thing else, like here I will be now moving down. So here now when you move down, just you have to move here. Now simply you have to move down underneath this article tag here, you can say, then I'll be writing main. You have to set the class of main. Now just set an id also which should be same as main. I'm just writing alternate, means our class if class does not work, so id should be working here. So when you've written this, just you have to do one thing here else, like you have to move down, create section, and then you have to just write class, and here I'll be writing navigation. Now when you've done with this navigation, you have to move forward, then set id same as navigation I will be writing. Now you have to move down underneath this navigation, here I'll be writing button, then you have to set id of this button. Id I will be setting of button should be navigation same as here I've written, just I'll be changing that to, I'll be writing navigation dash next, then you have to write next page. Save this file and then you have to reload. You can see we are getting the button here with here it is written next page, you can see, and it is looking good. Then we'll be styling this button using CSS after all. Now when you've done that, here I'll be moving down underneath this section, create footer, and in this footer I'll be writing class same as footer, so it will be easy for us to defining in CSS. Then you have to write p tag, you can write anything in that. Here I'll be writing my own paragraph, you can say. Then in this I'll be writing development by a tag you have to write. Then you have to just write https, means write same URL which I am writing. Then you have to write /github, then I'll be taking it down by pressing enter, so take it down. Then you have to write github, and here I will be now writing .com/Andres, and then when you've written here you have to write this, and this is my directory, or you can say repository name. When you've written this thing, you have to move down, create target is equals to underscore blank. Now when you've written this, you have to now write here like Andres, and then you can just write your own name. So here I'll be now writing like, you can write like this, from Inshalbek. You can write your own name also, like I've written my name. Reload here, you can see we are getting development by from Inshalbek, or you can erase this and then you can write this, save this and reload here. Now you can see only written in Inshalbek because now I've erased the for which was written here. Now when you just save these files here, simply you have to move down, and now we have to link our JS file, means our JavaScript file, so we can just work with that also. So here I'll be now moving, then you have to link your JavaScript file with your Next.js file. So here I will be now writing js/app.js, because in JS folder we have saved our file with the name of app.js. Now link this, save this file here. Now this file has been linked. Now we have to do some of the CSS, then we'll be starting our JavaScript code. So when we will be means when we will be moving to this app, and when we be searching anything, so we can get the link of that search thing which we will be adding in that, and I'll be showing you how, and it will be looking really awesome, and it will be also looking really good. So I'll be showing you how to do that things. Now when you've written these things, move to CSS file, means a style.css file. Now we'll be starting to code in this file here. We have linked this file with the help of HTML. Now we have to start code of CSS. So you have to write a body tag here. Now when you've written this, you have to just write the font family, means font family, what font family you have to set. So here I'll be writing Poppins, sans serif. Now if I save here and show you by reloading, you can see now the font family has been changed into Poppins. Now when you have just saved the font family, you have to move down, then you have to use the header class which we have written in our header tag. Then when you've written this header class, you have to write the text should be text align in center. So I will be writing this, then you have to save this file and reload. You can see now our text is in center of Wikipedia search as which is written here. Then you have to write form dash input. Move down here, you have to write display which should be block. So here I'll be giving gap, then I'll be writing block. Now when you've written this move down, then you have to set its width, which should be 100%. Just don't write 100 pixel, write 100%. Then set its font family, which should be inherit. Save this file and reload here. You can see now this font, you can say this input is now setting, and we will be setting this more good. So here you have to write form dash input. Now you have to write focus. Here you have to move down, create outline, which should be null. So here I'll be writing this, then you have to move down, create dot main, then you have to move down, and here you have to set margin, and here I'll be writing 3em0. Save this, move down, then you have to write dot card, and I'll be setting this to like border. And if you want it should be having border, you can set, or if you don't want the border, you can don't set the border, you can write border none. So I'm setting this to triple C like we have written previously also these color. Then set its padding 1 rem. So here I'll be setting this. Now you have to save this file and reload. You can see now it is moving down and it is having some gaps, so it should be looking good. Then you have to set the border radius in your input, so it should be looking more awesome. So here I'll be setting it to 10 pixel. Now you have to set its transition. Here I'll be writing 400 ms. Now save this and reload here. Now if I just hover on that, you can see we are getting the background, and here also we are getting same thing in button also. When I'm hovering on that, we are getting a bluish effect here. Now we will be setting it more good looking here. You have to move down, then you have to write card, hover, you have to set here. So I'll be writing hover. Then you have to move down simply, then write here box shadow. So here I'll be now writing box shadow. So you can simply write this box shadow to like, here I'll be setting this box shadow to like 0, 5 pixel, 5 pixel, 0. Then you can write triple E here, means a color code which we have written 0. Then you can write triple E. Now if I save and show you by reloading this, you can see now this button and this input is having same effect. Like if I'm hovering on this input box, we are getting the background, or you can say the border in bluish color, and when I'm hovering on this button, so we are getting the bluish color at the back of this button, and you can see how good looking is that. Now when you've set these things, you have to simply do one thing. You have to move down here underneath this card, then you have to set card title. So I'll be setting card title, and here I'll be setting the card title to like margin, and here I'll be setting margin 0. Move down. So here I'll be now closing this by writing the close tag. Then you have to set its font size. So here I'll be writing font size, and the font size I want of 1.5 rem here. Now set this. Now when you've done with that thing, so you have to save this, then reload here, and you can see the font family has been also set here, so it is looking good. Now when you've done with this thing, you have to just simply move down here. Now when you've moved down, you have to just do one thing here else, like you have to write card title A, then you have to give gap and move down here. You have to write color, which should be blue. So I'll be writing it blue. Save this, move down, and when you have moved down this thing, just you have to set some of the other things in that, like we will be setting link and other things like we want to set here. So now I'll be writing dot card dash link. Then you have to move down here, create font size. Here I'll be now writing font size of like dot 9 rem, means 0.9 rem. You can also write 0.9 if you want to write, so you can remember this thing. Then you have to set the color here. So simply I'll be now writing color, which should be green. You can set any other color also if you want to set here. I'll be writing it to green. Then when you've done that, you have to set text decoration. If you want, it should be having text decoration. You can write text decoration underline or italic if you want to give, but I don't want it should be having text decoration. I'll be writing text decoration none. Save this file and reload. So you can see now there will be not any text decoration and nothing here, and you can see this is now setting and it is looking good looking. Now when you've set this thing, you have to simply do one thing here. You have to move down, and then you have to write dot card, then you have to write description, then you have to move down, and when you have moved down here, you have to write margin top. So I'll be now setting its margin top, and then I will be writing margin top to like 0.2 rem. Now you have to simply do one thing. You have to move down, and when you move down, you have to set its color, which should be 555. Then you move down, and here you have to create font size, and in this font size I will be writing 0.9 rem. Now just you have to move down again, and when you have moved down, you have to write dot footer, and here you have to move down, create text align should be in center. So here I'll be writing text align center, move down, then create dot text center, and here I will be now creating text align center. So create text align center. Now just close this tag here. So I'll be closing this. So now when you've done that, you have to simply move down, and when you've moved down here, you have to now write a tag which will be like keyframes. So here I'll be now writing keyframes, and now here you have to write rotate. then you have to give it curly bracket here, and then I'll be writing 2, and here I'll be moving down, then I'll be writing transform, and here when you've done that, just simply you have to write here rotate, and then you have to move like this, then write 0 degree like this. You can write any other tag also, like if you want to write here I'm setting it to 0 degree, close this. Now when you've done that, here close this tag. Now you have to move down, create from, and here I will be now doing like this thing and create from, and here I'll be moving down, create transform, and here I will be now setting it to rotate, and here I will be now writing rotate, and here I will be now writing 360 degree. And when you've done that, just close this tag here, and I will be moving down, create loading, and here I will be moving down, create margin, which should be 3 rem auto. Now you have to move down, create width, which should be 40 pixel. Then you have to move down, create height, which should be 40 pixel. Now you have to move down, create font size, which should be 2 rem. So when you're done with that, I'll be moving down, then create transform, and here I will be writing origin, which should be center. Then move down here and create animation, and then here I'll be writing rotate, which should be 2s infinite. And when you're done with that, you have to write linear, and then you have to just do one thing else, like you have to now set here display and justify content, and then we'll be doing it in center. So here you have to now write display, and here I'll be writing display flex. Move down, create a tag which will be like justify content, and here I'll be now setting it to in center. Now when you've done that, you have to write align items, which should be same as center. Now save this file and reload. You can see now these things are also coming in center. When you have set this, you have to write dot navigation, then you have to just move down, create display, which will be none. Then when you've done that, you have to now set margin bottom, and when you set the margin bottom here, you have to set it to 3 rem. Then when you've done that, you have to move down, create a tag which will be like justify content, which should be flex hand. So here I'll be setting this, save this. Then you have to simply do one thing, you have to move down here again, then you have to write dot navigation, and when you've done that, you have to write button, because now we are styling our button. You have to move down, set its margin, which should be 0.3 rem. Save this file here. Then if I reload here, so you can see now our button is gone here, and now we will be setting this button, because we have written display none, and we will be setting this button more good looking here, and I will be showing you how to set this button more good looking. So when you just set these things here, you have to just do simply one thing, you have to move to your JS code here which we have written. So save this file here, and you can see now it is looking more good. And now when you reload this, so you can see now we have set these all things here. Now we'll be setting our button and more things here. Now just you can see now we have set these all things which we have written here, and it is looking more awesome looking. So here when you've just set these things, we have to set our main class ID and the things which we have written. And now you can just set it some of the things here which we want to set here, like I'll be now moving to my uh, file which will be index.html file, and you can see now here we have just saved the file with the name of style.css. I'll be moving to JS here, then we'll be doing some of the JS code in this file, and I'll be showing you what to do in JS. So here I have to move to JS code here, and now we'll be styling some of the things in JS code also, so it will be looking more good look. So here I'll be writing const main. Now when you've written this main here, you have to just do one thing, you have to move forward. Here you have to write is equals to document, then you have to write dot get element by id, then you have to now set dot main id which we have written in HTML. Then when you have set this, you have to write comma, create form. So here now I'll be setting the id here, which will be like I have written comma. Now when you set the comma here, you have to write form is equals to, then you have to write document dot get element by id. Now when you've written this, you have to write here form again. Now when you set this form, you have to write same as comma here also. Now move down here, and now you have to create navigation, and we will be setting the button here. Then you have to write document, then you have to write dot get element by id, then you have to write here navigation. So here I'll be now writing that to like navigation. Now you have to just write comma here, then move down, and then I'll be doing it, zoom out some of that, then write btn navigation. So here I'll be now writing btn navigation next. Now just you have to link this JS file with your Next.js file, then you have to write dot get element by id, document dot get element by id, then you have to write navigation, dash next. Now you can see we have done these things here. Now you have to close this tag, then you have to move down here, then create let offset here. So I'll be writing let offset is equals to 0. Move down, then you have to write word is equals to, then I'll be writing this and closing this tag. Move down, save this file, and if I reload here, so our button will be coming when we'll be moving these things. Now when you've done that, you have to write const, then here you have to write show navigation. Then when you've done that, you have to write is equals to bracket, move forward. Then you have to now do one thing here else, like I'll be writing navigation, then I'll be setting it to style dot display. And then when you've done that, you have to write is equals to flex. Now just save this file here and reload this thing here. So our JS file will be also linking with that. So here when you've done that, you have to write const, then you have to write hide navigation. So here I'll be now writing hide navigation. Then when you've done that, you have to write is equals to make this, then you have to simply write same thing here also. Then you have to just move down here, then you have to write same as here you have written navigation dot style dot display. Then here I'll be writing none. So when you return this thing, save here, and then simply you have to reload. You can see now this is setting here, means our input is setting. Now when you've set this, you have to move down, then you have to render this. So here I'll be writing render loading. Now when you've done that, you have to simply write this same thing here also, and then I'll be moving down, create const, then you have to write loading. Here I'll be now writing el is equals to, then you have to write document dot create element. So when you've done that, here I'll be now writing div. Close this tag here, move down, and here I'll be writing loading el, then you have to write dot id. Here I'll be writing is equals to loading. So right here like loading. Now when you're done with that all things, here you have to do simply one thing, close this, move down, create loading EL, then you have to write dot text content. Then when you've done that, you have to write this tag, and here we will be writing one logo here, and I'll be telling you what the logo you have to write. You can write any logo, you can paste any logo. I am having one logo. I'll be showing you what the logo is. I'll be pressing open folder here, and you can see this is the logo which I want to show you. This was the logo. Copy this logo, you can take from anything, website or anywhere you want to take this logo. Then I'll be pasting this logo here. Now when you paste this, you have to move down, you have to write dot main, then you have to write main append child. Then when you've written this tag, you have to write loading el, which we have written. Now you have to save this. Then if I reload here, so we will be setting that things more good looking. So you have to move down, write const render card. So I'll be writing that render card here. Then that is equals to, then you have to write title, comma, then you have to write snip. Then when you've written this, you have to write comma page ID. Now when you've done that, here you will be writing same thing, move down. Here you have to write const URL is equals to, then write HTTPS. So here I'll be now writing this, then you have to write EN, and here you have to write dot Wikipedia, and I will be now writing dot .org, and then write slash and this tag here, then write curate is equals to, then you can write this same thing here which we have written, and here you can write page ID, and you can close this. Now you can see we have written this. So here when you've written these things, simply you have to do one thing else. You have to close this tag, you have to simply move down, create const card, then I'll be now writing is equals to, you can write document dot create element. So here I'll be now writing create element, then you have to write here article. So now when you've done with this thing, I'll be now saving this, reload here. You can see just this is now setting, means our input and all the things which we have written. Now when you've written these things here, I will be now moving down, then I will be now writing here card, and here when you've written this card, you have to write dot class name. Then when you've written this, you have to write card here. Now you have to just close this tag here, and you can see now we have just set some of the things we want to set here. So here I'll be now taking it more like this. So when you have just set this thing, we have to write dot class card, then I'll be writing card dot inner HTML. Then when you've just set this, you have to write this tag, move down here, and here I will be now simply doing one thing else, like here I will be now giving this tag here, means this one. So here also same thing I'll be doing here, like I'll be writing this thing, and here also this. Now you can see now it is set. Now when you've done with this thing, you have to move down, and you have to just create a h2 tag here. So I'll be writing h2 class is equals to card title. So I'll be writing card title, then close this here, When you've closed this, you have to make a href. So here I'll be writing href. Then you have to write is equals to, and here I'll be writing URL. Now when you've said this, you have to write target is equals to underscore blank. So here I'll be now writing this. Then you have to write like this, and here also. Now when you've done with this, you have to move forward. Then close this, and here I'll be now writing like this, and here I'll be writing title. So write this title. Then when you've done that, here you have to now close this. So here we will be closing this, and then we will be closing this h2 tag also. Now when you close this, you have to now do one thing. You have to write a href. Then you have to write same thing here also, like you have to write url. Then here I'll be writing this curly bracket. Then I'll be writing this url. Now you have to write class is equals to card. Now when you've written this card, you have to write dash link. And here when you've written this thing, you have to just write like that. Then write here target or set target. Then I'll be writing blank. Now you have to write it like this, like I am telling you to write. Then write here in curly bracket, which should be URL in capital. You have to write, remember that. Then close by writing this a tag. You have to write p. Then write class, and here I will be now writing card. So here you have to write card dash. Then write description. Now when you've done that, here I'll be now closing this. Then you have to write this tag, and here you have to write snipped in small. So now when you've said these things here, you have to simply do one thing. You have to move forward, then close this p tag. Now save this file, simply reload here. So you can see now when we'll be moving forward, so it will be setting these things here. Now you have to do like close this tag, and here you have to write return card. Save this, and now you have to reload. So you can see now when I'm searching anything, if I press enter, you can see now it is going here, because we have set some of the JavaScript in that. And when I'm just, and then when we'll be making that, so when I'm searching that thing, so the link will be coming down, and I'll be showing you how we will be getting the link. You have to move down, then you have to write const, then write render results. Then you have to just write equals to results. Then you have to write is equals to, move down, then you have to write main dot inner html. So you have to write inner html. Then you have to write is equals to, then move down here and create if results. Then when you've done that, you have to write dot length. Now when you've done with that, you have to write like this. Then you have to move forward, and here I'll be writing results, and then I'll be writing dot for each. And when you've done that, here I'll be now writing title. Here I'll be writing comma page ID. Then you have to write comma again. Here you have to write a snip. Now when you've done that, here I'll be now moving forward, that is equals to like this. Then you have to move down, and then when you move down, you have to write const card element. Then write dot render card. So here I'll be now writing dot render card. Then when you've done with that things, here you have to now do one thing, like I'll be writing title. So write here title. Then I'll be writing snip. Then when you're done with that, here I'll be writing comma page ID. So write here page ID. Now when you've done that, just you have to move down, create main dot. So here I'll be moving back. Then you have to write main dot append child. Then when you've written this, I'll be moving back. Now when you've done with that, here you have to write card element. So write like this. Then close this tag, close this also. Now when you've done with that things, here I'll be writing else, means if it does not work. So you have to write main dot inner html. So here I'll be now writing this. Then you have to write this tag again. Here you have to write t. So write like that. Then you have to write t class, and then I'll be writing text center. Now when you've written this, you have to close this. Then make this tag here. Here I'll be writing no see. You can write anything here, like I'll be writing this is made by initial date, like this. You can write anything. Then you can close this I tag here, and when you just close this I tag by writing this close tag, and same as here you have to close p tag also. Close this, then you have to close p tag here. Now when you've closed this, you have to move down, and then when you move down here, you have to do simply one thing, as you have to write search. Then you have to write in Wikipedia. So here I'll be writing search in Wikipedia. Now when you've done with this, you have to write a snake. Then you have to move forward, then you have to write bird, and here I'll be writing this tag. Then move down, and then you have to set some of the other things here also, like we will be setting like const and other things which we want to set. Save this file here, and if you reload, you can see now it is setting more good looking. And then when you've done with that, you have to now write here try. Then you have to move down, create const res is equals to res like this. Then you have to write await, and when you've done that, you have to write fetch, and here you have to write the URL. So here I'll be now writing https. Then you have to write slash en Wikipedia. Then you have to write org, and when you've done that, you have to write slash w-api. Then when you've done that, write dot php. Here I will be now writing this, and when you've done that, you have to write action is equals to, then you have to write query, and then you have to write list. When you've written this, you have to write is equals to search. So here you have to write search, and when you've written this thing, you have to write and prop. So here I will be now writing and prop. Then write is equals to info, and now when you've done that, you have to write in prop. So here I will be now writing, when you've done with this thing, here you have to do like is equals to URL, and then I'll be writing and. So here I'll be now writing and here I'll be writing UTF-8. So here I'll be writing this, then is equals to, and here I'll be now writing and format. So here I'll be writing and format, and here when you've done with this thing, here you have to now set is to like is equals to JSON. So here I'll be now writing is equals to JSON. Then when you've done that, you have to write and origin. So here I'll be now writing and origin, and when you're done with this thing, here you have to now do one thing. I'll be writing is equals to this thing, and here when you've done that, I'll be writing and then write sr limit. And when you've done this, here simply you have to write is equals to 10, and then you have to write sr search. Then when you've done with this thing, here you have to simply do one thing is equals to, I will be writing, then here I'll be now writing word. So write here word, and when you've done with this thing, here I will be now moving forward. Then I'll be writing and here I will be writing a tag which will be like s offset. Then you can see now we have set this thing here like sr search and other things which we want to set. Then you have to just set and sr offset. So here I'll be writing and sr offset. Now when you've done that, you have to write is equals to this tag. Then you have to just move here, then write offset. Now you can see we have done with these things. Then I'll be closing this tag here, and you can see now it is looking good. So here I'll be moving down, and now so here when you move down, simply you have to do one thing here else, like you have to just write const. Then here I'll be now writing data is equals to await. Then I'll be writing res.json. Then I will be now writing this tag, closing this. Then you have to move down, create const results is equals to, then write data dot query. Then here I will be now writing dot search, and here when you've done that, I will be moving down, create offset is equals to, then write data dot continue. And here when you've done that, I'll be writing dot sr offset, and here when you've done that, I'll be writing this, then write 0, move down, and then I'll be writing show navigation. Then when you're done with this thing, here you have to now write this tag, and when you've done that, just you have to close this. Simply now you have to move down, and then I'll be writing return. And when you've done with this thing, here I'll be now writing return results. Then I'll be now closing this, and now when you've done that, here I'll be writing catch, and here I'll be writing this thing, and then I'll be writing error. And when you've done that, I'll be now writing this tag. Okay, I'll be moving down, and when you've done with this thing, here I'll be doing simply one thing else, like here I'll be moving down, then I'll be now closing this tag like this. Okay, so now when you're done with this, press backspace. Now you have to move forward here, and when you move, just you have to like write like this, move down, and then we have to check one thing, like what is giving error here. So we have to do one thing, like I'll be giving it backspace like this. Now when you've written this show navigation, you have to write return results, and then write catch error. Okay, so we have written these all things like we want to write. So we have to write result. So we have written this result here. Then await rest JSON, we have also written this thing. Now when you have written this catch error here, simply you have to do one thing, like you have to erase this. So here when you have erased this thing also, you have to do one thing, you have to now write hide navigation. So here I'll be now writing hide, then I'll be writing navigation, and then you have to just make a tag here like this. close this tag, move down, then create return. So here I'll be now writing return, and here I will be now writing like this, and then I'll be closing this. Now just you have to save this, and now we have to check that the one error is just coming here, like this error I have shown you. Now when the error is coming, just you have to now set this error, like what the error we have to see the error, what the error is coming. So now we have set these things simply. Now we have fetched this also, so that's this in data results is also written offset. Okay, so we have to check the things like what the error is coming, then we have set this, and offset we have written. So when you have written this offset, just simply you have to now close this tag also. Now we have closed this, and here I will be now doing one thing else, like here we have closed this tag. Okay, so we have to close it here. Okay, not here. Move down, right, like this, and you can see now the error is gone like we were having. Now when you're done with this, here I'll be moving down, write const handle, then you have to write form search. Now when you're done with this thing, here you have to just do one thing, write async, then you have to write e is equals to like this. Then when you've done that, you have to move down, write main dot inner html. Then when you've done that is equals to, here I'll be moving down, create render loading. So when you've done with this thing, here I'll be moving down, then move down, here I'll be writing e dot prevent. And now when you've done with this, here I'll be writing default. Then when you're done with that things, here I'll be now writing word is equals to create dot e target, then write dot children. So here I'll be now doing one thing, like I'll be writing 0 dot value. Then when you've done that, here I will be now moving down, create let results, and here I'll be writing is equals to await. And here when you've done that, just I'll be writing search in Wikipedia. Now just you have to write word. So here I'll be writing word, and here I'll be moving down, create render results. So here I will be now writing like this, and here when you've done that, I'll be writing results. Then when you've done with this, here I'll be writing const handle. So I'll be writing handle navigation, and when you've done that, I'll be writing navigation next. Here you have to write async, then you have to write this tag. So here I'll be now writing this tag, then write like that, move down. Here I'll be writing let results, and when you've done that, I'll be writing await, and then you have to write search in Wikipedia. Then you have to move here, and then I'll be writing word, and here I'll be writing offset. So when you've done with this thing, here I'll be now moving here, and then I'll be writing render, and here I'll be writing results. Then I'll be now moving here and writing results. Then you have to close this tag, move down, and then when you move down, you have to write const. So here I'll be writing const, and here you have to write handle navigation. So next you have to erase here. Then when you've written this handle navigation here, simply you have to now set some of the things here. So we have just set these things, navigation next. Okay, so here you have to erase this. Now when you've done with this, you have to now write form. So here I'll be writing form dot add event listener. Then when you've done that, you have to write submit, and here you have to write comma handle. Then you have to write form search. Save this file, and if you reload here, so we will be getting some of the things. If I press enter, you can see we are getting a loading, and we are getting the project name. Okay, so we'll be setting it more good looking here, and I'll be telling you how to set it more good. So when you've just set this thing here, you have to simply close this tag. Now you have to move down, write btn navigation next dot add event listener. Then you have to write click, means if we click, so we will be getting our handle navigation next. Now close this tag here, and now we will be setting more other things here, like now when you've set this thing, you have to just here you have to hit save, and then you reload here. Now if I just search anything in this app, like if I search about, like if I write Elon Musk, then if I press enter, you can see you are getting Elon Musk and things about that. And if I press this next page button, you will be moving to next page here, and you can see how good looking is that. We are searching anything here, we are getting all the things related to that. Now if I search Elon Musk, here you can see Elon Musk things are coming, and if I press, it will be taking to link of Elon Musk, you can see on Wikipedia, because we have built a Wikipedia search app. You can see how good looking is that. You can go to next page by pressing this button here, and you can see how good looking is that. So this was the thing which we have built. And if I just search anything else, like if I search What is car? Press enter. All the things related to car will be coming. You can go to next page here. Okay, press next page. You will be on next page. You can see. Then if I press again, you can see you are on next page. So this was the Next.js app which we have built. You can say Wikipedia search app we have built. You can see how good looking is this app. You can search car. You will be getting car. You can see if I press, so you can read things about car here. When you will be pressing, you will be going to the Wikipedia link. So this was the Wikipedia search app which we have built using Next.js. When I'm pressing this next page, we are moving to next page of this Wikipedia app. So this was the Wikipedia app which we have built using Next.js. I hope you understand how to build this amazing Wikipedia search app using Next.js, and I hope you understand how to build this app. And I hope you enjoy this video and enjoy these things which we are doing using Next.js. And I hope you enjoy this video which was different on previous videos which we are building. So if you have enjoyed, so please hit like to this video. If you are new on the channel, hit the subscribe button, share this video with your friends and family members so they can learn about these amazing things and skills which we are doing with Next.js and React.js. So I'll be meeting next project. So for today, goodbye.